Okay, here it goes. That was like a 20-minute conversation with the Minuteman. I had no idea. Here we're gonna push the button. I didn't even bring supplies. I'm just in a short moment. Yeah, the dullest place. Goodbye. So here it goes. Are you awake? See, that's a Soviet rocket design. That's not a U.S. rocket. I think this game is made by Eastern Europeans or. Wow, that was impressive, said Sleepless Bob. That dog's got his nose right in that dude's ass. Okay. You have something else to say? Oh, yeah, just make yourself at home, Rubberneck. There's blueberry jam in the fridge. Oh, he's a good dog, Wes. Oh, geez. No, don't tell the story. And that's it? Holy shit, man. You were right. We're not prepared for this. Look at the dumb dog with. I want a treat. We're not prepared. We're not prepared. Or are we? And then they're going to have to open the hatch, right? Okay. And this is, I'm not panning out. This is automatically doing it. Oh, there's the rainbow room where my apple trees died. There he is. Would you like to be a prepper too?
Rubber of engines. Overwhelming speed. This is what everything has led to. I went through a plane crash, memory loss, government surveillance. I dug myself a second home underground. And then I fought, farmed, explored, and built my way out of that damn town. In my previous life, I worked for the regime. In this one, I've helped some weird dreamers like me fight it. Onward, to new beginnings, to freedom. Shit.
There's the name.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, this is really a cool. Ah. Never met her. She was the one who was selling all of the bait. That's Mr. Prepper, the photo of the guy in the airplane. There's old Joe and his dog.
It's a cattle dog.
Chupacabra. Yeah, he's an Aussie cattle dog. And there's Jenny. Yeah. And the cover art. So, my review of this game, initially it was a bit grindy, and then there was the midsection where it seemed less grindy, and you kind of got rich and got food and built you had a freezer, so you could, like you really upgraded everything with the with the shelter, the underground shelter. You had plenty of power. You could freeze your food. There was making your own gasoline, and it was just like there wasn't enough time in the day. You had like passing out all the time. But it wasn't really frustrating or too grindy seeming. It was tolerable because you knew I predicted, but because people were not talking, people were like, I watched a review of the game where the guy said he got a copy for free and the developers asked him to not spoil the whole end, so he was only going to be reviewing it up to a point. So I knew that there was going to be some twists and some stuff that you wouldn't expect. I was prepared for that. Now, the would I recommend this game? Well, I would, but here's a epilogue, or postscript. It's a lighthouse, and here he comes with Splashdown. So we look for a sequel taking place in a lighthouse. Another phallic symbol. So the problem with Mr. Prepper, too grindy, not enough daytime. It took too long. Now then there's this middle segment where you have to drive, where the mechanics of that were clunky at best, and it was repetitive and way too long. That was unexcusable. If you're going to make a driving game and throw a mini game into the a grindy feeling, kind of drawn out experience, you should make the mini game fun, not too challenging. And for one thing, they tell you if you go to settings and look at controls, it says steer the car with the space bar. You're supposed to steer the car with your mouse buttons, because initially I was only able to steer in one direction, and there's no brake either. So that was enough to put me off of the whole game, to say I can't recommend this game. It's by miles the worst thing I ever played in a video game. More frustrating. And I read another review where a guy said the same thing, and then someone was like, "Oh, you're a baby. It wasn't that hard. You just need to play it enough, and then you'll figure it out." Well, for the casual gamer, and I got to tell you, this is not a casual gamer video game. This is much more. It's more involved. This is for experienced video gamers. Now, I was complaining about the driving segment, and what came next is this computer room assault where there's an angry AI, and that went on for 15 minutes. And they're pouring boulders on your head. There's really no explanation, and I started panicking because I thought this is never going to stop. I'm not doing something I need to be doing, so there's a lot of that kind of feeling like you're left out in the cold and you're not sure. And I'll tell you something, this is the game that you're going to have to, they should have released an official guide that would tell you, hints. If you're in the base and you're freaking out because you don't have any resources, relax, because eventually you'll get what you need in the base. So that computer room fight is ridiculous. It's way too long. It's 15 times longer than it needed to be. It should have been a minute, and it goes on for 15 minutes, and that's just inexcusable. The other complaint is at the end of the game, there's so much text. There's so much clicking And if most people, like maybe the first time through, you should be able to skip that. There's no point, you know? If you're going to go back and want to hear the people explain the plot of the game that you don't already know, you have to sit for 15 minutes while the agent tells you what you already know. So the developers were very brave, and they were insistent about including stuff that they thought that was going to make the game a more interesting experience, and ultimately it really hurt the game. And I think there's a huge the overall gaming population would agree with me. So I really cannot recommend this game for you to play it all the way through. I would tell you, torrent a copy and play it up until you got your until you're getting fat and getting rich and get, you know, your traps are, you're kicking ass with trapping, or however you make your money. If you want to do the vegetable route and just set up a mass growing operation and never leave, you know, you can do that way. I've seen how everyone does it a little different. So it is a cool mechanic, and as far as a base building game, this was the coolest one I ever played. And I love that. I love base building. And this is a genre that's widely untapped, and it seems like the foundation for a game where they could come and make a really, really great video game, a classic, like one of the best, if they could just iron out the bugs out of this. It is very buggy. I got stuck in some rooms where I couldn't move. I had to redo the whole driving sequence. I was on the, I think you have to go 7 levels in to get the signal, and I was in 6, and it locked up and wouldn't let me go back to the car, and that happened twice. So that type of stuff is inexcusable. It's the worst thing I've ever played in my life is the driving thing, and I'm at the 6th level of like pulling teeth. It's so long, and I'm like, I'm so close. Level 7, I'm going to get the signal. I'm going to be able to go to the base finally, and all of a sudden I can't leave the screen. I can't go back to the car, and that happened twice today. So this game, I was so excited and so into it playing it, I made some videos to recommend it, because I think initially I thought this is, you know, something other people would really enjoy, and it turned into a fucking nightmare. So I gotta tell you, if you're a casual to medium gamer, no way. If you're a hardcore gamer, or if the idea of a Fallout Shelter base building video game appeals to you, yes, get Mr. Prepper. You'll love it up to a point. And if you can excuse the half a day you're going to spend, or if you're a great gamer, you know, I'm not. I'm a terrible video game player. I'm terrible. When I go on the servers and play with the kids who are online, I just they just mop the floor with me. And these are games that I've played for years, you know. Games that I think I'm good at, and I find out the truth. Anyway, that was my review of Mr. Prepper. It could have been great, and I'm looking for a sequel or someone else to pick up this idea, because it's a great idea for a great video game, but they really screwed the pooch on this one. I will replay this game now that I know what to do. I believe it took me over a year, well, let's see. Day 365. Unbelievable. How do you like that? All right, you guys, I'm going to cut you loose. Sorry for the length on this. Actually, maybe I'll edit this. Talk to you later, and peace.